Hi everyone. So today I am just kind of going through my altered book, and I am working on prepping it for putting recipes in. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. I'm putting in some of the embellishments, and I'm just kind of starting out with that on these couple of pages first, and then I want to start putting some of the recipes in and making my sections of what I'm going to, of the recipes I'm going to put in the book and where they're going to go. So after going through some of the recipes, I thought I would start out with the desserts to go in the front of the book. And some of these recipes, I'm just leaving them as they are. They're recipes that either my mom or my grandmother wrote down on a piece of paper or an index card. And so, I would like to leave that intact. And so what I'll do is just apply some washi tape, and that way it sticks it to the page and I can just flip it open. So I want to go ahead and make the tabs, and I'm just going to take one of the journaling cards and write out desserts, and then just cut that out, and I'll glue it onto the side of one of the pages, and that way I'll be able to see the tab from the outside and know where to turn it at. And then I'll also do one for sides and main dishes. So I'm just going to put a few more of the dessert recipes in here, and then I'll move on to the sides category. So I'm making the tab for the sides, and I'm going to glue that onto the side of the page like I did with the desserts, but I'm just going to go down a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is skip over maybe a third of the way, and then go ahead and do the tab for the main dishes, and then I'll put some of those recipes in each of those sections. So to take some of the wording off of the page or cover it up, I'm using some gesso. You can also use some paint of any kind. If you're using just, craft paint at the store, it's a little bit more on the watery side, so you might have to use a couple of coats. And I'm just doing a thin layer of the gesso, not to cover it up completely. And then I'm just taking one of the recipes and gluing it down. And then I found a recipe to go in the main dishes section. And I'll be looking for more recipes as the days go on, and then I'll know where to put them in the different sections. And so I'm just kind of finding what I can as I'm looking through them and just cutting them out of the book that I have them all put in. So after I've glued some of my recipes in the book, now I'm going to come back and do some layouts just to kind of dress it up a little bit, add some tuck spots, some, flip outs, different ways that I can come back later and, maybe journal something or fill in a space here and there, staple something or glue something into the book, however I want to do it. And so I'm just kind of prepping for some of those spaces when I come back later on to fill those in. So now on this page, I wanted to take some of the tissue paper, a little piece of the fabric, and then also a little piece of the lace. And I'm just going to paper clip that to the page because I might want to come back and maybe glue a recipe onto that tissue paper or onto the fabric. Not quite sure what I'm going to do, but I would just want to leave that space there for me to come back to. So that's a great way. If it's something that you think you don't want to come back to, then you can just paper clip something on it, and that way it just kind of leaves your options open instead of gluing something on that page and then coming back later and deciding, well, I really didn't want to do that. So paper clipping something or adding washi tape, it's really a great way to put something on the page that you can come back and change it later. And then here I'm just adding some of the rose gold wax paste. I just wanted to cover up some of that black spot. And now on this page, I wanted to come back over the gesso. Since I basically went ahead and primed these pages, I thought, well, why not cover them up with some paint here. This is the ultramarine paint that came in your kit. Beautiful, beautiful color. I thought that it would just give a wonderful pop of color. We've got a lot of oranges and browns, so I thought the blue would be a real nice contrast to those colors. And I'm just adding a little bit, just basically framing out the recipe and adding a little bit, dipping my paintbrush in the paint and then dipping it in the water to come back, and it activates that paint and spreads it out really good, like any watercolor paint does. I just absolutely love the Finnabair brands. They really have some good quality paint, wax paste. I just love all of their products. So to add a little bit more depth to the layout, I thought I would just come with the stencil and basically do the same thing. I'm dipping my brush in a little bit of the paint, putting it in some of the lines of the stencil, and then dipping my brush in the water and coming back and putting it in the same spots. And I do really like the look that that gives. It just adds some other points of interest to my page spread here. So now I'm going to add some glue to this page and glue down a piece of fabric and one of the journaling cards and a recipe on here. And this will pretty much conclude the tutorial. If you have any questions at all, feel free to let me know. Thanks so much for watching.